My guest this evening is a gifted writer whose outlook on life makes me look like Tony Robbins. She has two new books out, The Fran Lebowitz Reader, and a children's book, Mr. Chaz and Lisa Sue Meet the Pandas. Please welcome Fran Lebowitz. Fran? Fran, how are you tonight?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm happy to meet you. I've always been a big fan. You make me laugh very hard.
Thank you.
All right, we've got off to that winging start. How important is civility to our civilization, Fran? Big issue with you?
Yes, salient issue, I would say. Civility is what puts this civil in civilization, which we no longer have.
Is it reattainable, or is it lost irrevocably?
Lost irrevocably. Which is why I have no interest in stopping smoking.
Yeah, because, you know...
I mean, look how things have fallen apart now that people my age are in charge. Wait till this next group comes along.
You're not optimistic, are you? You start, if I think about them taking over, I'm going to start smoking Duraflame logs.
That's it. I mean, are we surprised the planes are crashing? Look who's flying them. The people who sat in front of you in algebra.
I think that's the worst thing about dying in a plane
in
wreck.
summer school.
You have to check into eternity with all the same assholes you couldn't stomach in the lobby at O'Hare. No. Do you think we can re-salvage some sense of civility through education? Would that be a key? Where do you see us solving the problem?
If we had education, yes, that would be a good start.
You think
we don't have education.
Yeah, you think that blip's gone off the sonar?
I think it's pretty much gone. This is particularly bad news if you try to make a living selling books.
Well, yeah. What about the family? Can the family reinstill this sense of civility in children, or is the family decimated to the point where it no longer functions?
We don't have families anymore.
Excuse me, Fran, I'm going to blow my fucking head off, all right?
I mean, very few people live in what, we would have recognized as families when I was a child.
Uh-huh.
I mean, with parents who actually knew what they were doing, or at least you imagine they knew what they were doing. I mean, I notice now that people ask their children questions all the time. What would you like for dinner? Where would you like to live? I don't think I was asked a single question until I was 17.
How's about, Fran, why are you crying?
No, that question was, when are you leaving?
Okay, say you are the dictator of the planet. How do you salvage this? Give me a substantive step we can take.
Well, that is my first career choice.
All right, dictator.
Dictator. Well, actually, my second after Pope, but dictator is more attainable, I feel. What actually I would do first is I would federalize the public school system. It's absurd that every little town in America run by every little person is allowed to make these decisions. I would federalize the public school system. I would be in charge of it. Mm-hmm. Everyone would wear uniforms. No fashion consciousness among children. And we would teach just things that they used to teach, like reading and writing. I would give up arithmetic since I would have no idea how to teach that.
All right. Well,
and I would keep the public schools open all the time. This would be a good replacement for the Newt Gingrich orphanage idea, which is simply, his idea is really just a way to make sure that we don't have to wait until black people are 18 to put them in jail from birth. I would keep the public schools open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and try to provide in that environment a kind of replica of the 1950s middle-class childhood. You wouldn't have to go to school 12 hours a day, but you could if, for instance, you didn't have a home, which most of them seem not to have. You would have piano lessons, you'd have to practice.
The McCarthy hearings.
you would have McCarthy hearings. Well, we're about to have McCarthy hearings again. I mean, to me, Gingrich is McCarthy without the charm.
There we go. Wow. Yeah. If Joe McCarthy was the tail gunner, Gingrich is the bombardier, you know?
And he also believes in magic because he believes in teenage mothers, but not teenage fathers.
Well, that's his Christian upbringing. We've got a phone call for you, Fran. It's line 1. It's Mick from St. Charles, Illinois. Is that where Jagger lives? Okay, Mick, go ahead.
No, actually, Dennis, you got that wrong. It's Dick, and I'm the one that's putting the 10% off flyers on your car at the mall for the porno store that I own here in St. Charles.
All right, hang up on him. Oh, go ahead, Dick. What's your question?
No, actually, I'm a 21-year-old, and I have noticed so much here, especially in St. Charles, especially coming back from school and for the holidays and everything, even buying gifts for my folks, that I certainly don't get the kind of respect that I think that I deserve. I'm just an average white kid that grew up in a suburban family, and we live in a suburb of Chicago out west, and if anything, I grew up the most civilized of all people. I mean, I've got the 2 parents and the brother and the average family. And
Dick, are you Aryan?
No, I'm not. I'm Catholic.
Oh, okay.
A fine distinction.
Well, what's your question, babe? You
I
there?
just want to say that I bought your book and I gave it to my granddaughter, and she loves it a whole lot.
Well, thank you.
All right,
Very
Dick.
youthful grandfather.
Thank you for logging in.
Teenage grandfathers, the next big problem.
Line 2, we've got Frankie from Albany, New York. Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, Dennis?
What's happening, Frankie?
I totally disagree with your guess. I think there is stability in America. For instance, I'm originally from Bronx, New York.
All right.
Now, I moved
The world
up there
capital of
10 years
civility.
ago to Albany. Now, in the Bronx, when you ask somebody for directions, they tell you to go fuck yourself. Now, I come up here in Albany, and I'm walking in, cutting lines in the banks, people looking at me like I'm kind of maniac or lunatic.
Hard to imagine
I
that.
could be walking down the street, people... Hey, shut the fuck up.
There we go. There we go.
All right?
Tear into me,
I'm here
baby.
in
I love
Albany,
that.
I'm talking to somebody, and I could just be walking down the street, someone says hello to you, they don't even know you, you ask for directions, they're like, hop in the car, I'll take you there. It's very nice up here, people are more polite up here.
So when
I
you
like
ask
it.
somebody to
Been here
take
for
you to
10
where
years.
you buried Hoffa, they'll drive you there, right?
They'll even do that. If you don't even have a place to stay, they'll invite you into your home.
And you're from Albany, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm originally from the Bronx.
Yeah,
But
somehow
I've been
I
up
got
here for
that
10
in your
years, so
backstory.
I've chilled out now.
All right,
lived
well, it's
here
been
all
interesting
these 10
talking to you, Frank. And we
I'll
got
be
to
sure
go
to buy
now.
your new book.
You think you're going to be picking up Fran's child book, Mr. Chaz and Lisa
No
Sue?
fucking way.
There we go. Thank you,
But
Frankie.
now that you live in Albany, you might be able to find someone to read it to you.
Wait, Fran, go ahead. Get the last kick in.
I said now that he lives in Albany, maybe he can find someone to read it to him.
Wow. Well, you had the last word there, Ms. Scaramouche. Thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate
for
it,
a lovely
Fran.
evening.
All right, you take care of yourself. Fran Lebowitz, folks. Thank you.